Girls on Panzer Das Finale Part 2 Review. Warning, contains spoilers to previous parts. It does feel slightly weird reviewing this release because it is set smack bang in the middle of the battle. For the previous part, it ends smack bang in the middle of another battle. This is a release which begins and ends with two middles. Part 2 Das Finale continues with Girls' high school's tankery battle with the French-inspired BC Freedom, having survived being ambushed at the bridge in Part 1. Ori ends up taking the battle to them, which results in the fight and the hedge maze. Given that this is a 6-part finale, you can probably guess that Ori come out on top. Afterwards, we learn a bit more about Momo and her family. Her parents run a stationery shop, and we see she has multiple siblings, and coming from such a big family, she's keen to get into the university of her choice in order to get a good job and help them. Following up for this, Ori faced her second round battle, this time against the Imperial Japanese-inspired Chihai Tan team, who always ends up charging into battle and refusing to retreat. However, since they last fought each other, Chihatan have learned from their mistakes. The orders may still be, they always include the word charge, but those orders are not always to charge forward. Sometimes they might be charged to the side, or even the most unsuspected of maneuvers are charged to retreat. While the comedy was one of the main draws of the first part, in the second the action comes out more on top. Both of the battles so far have been thrilling, with unexpected twists and turns. One interesting aspect of the battles is the use of different terrains for each encounter. While the match against BC Frida was the most open countryside, the fight against Chihatan is in the jungle. Another aspect of bring up here is the music. Each school has their own battle team, based on the marching songs for their respective countries. Chihatan sing Yuki no Shinjun, or the Snow March, a song that the Japanese army actually banned during World War II. BC Frida meanwhile used the Napoleonic song Chanseti Yogyon, or Song of the Union. Now, I know that the French don't consider the Wall Union selling things to be a stereotype they recognize, but you cannot deny that from English eyes, a French song about onions just seems to confirm all English prejudices about the French nevertheless. Both are good songs. Only does get problematic when you see the German-influenced school attended by Miho's older sister Maho has two themes that were used in the 1930s and 40s. One of the nice things about this second collection is that it is slightly longer than the first. It's roughly an hour, but not that long compared to most films. It will still have been better to have released fewer but longer films rather than lots of small ones. The collection does include more extras than the first Texas opening closing. The theme songs are the same as the last part. Japanese promos, trailers, and a small OVA. This episode, Taiyaki War, follows a conflict at the BC Freedom Academy between the Polish students and the working class students over food stalls, which, not surprisingly given the French influence and all the stereotyping there is in this show, leads to a strike. I know that some may be put off, but all the stereotyping that appears in Girls on Panzer, and it turns out offensive, it is relatively low level, and the Japanese are mocking themselves as well as it helps to level things up. The main problem with the Das Finale is that all the parts are so spread out. We don't know when Part 3 will arrive, and Part 4 has yet to come out. Let's hope it's really is a case of good things coming to those who wait. 9/10.